Hello to all the Prêt-à-Template users. In this video, let's learn how to recreate this beautiful look from Copenhagen Fashion Week by Stine Goya. This is a denim look with a beautiful gradient of color. So let's learn how to find an inspiration tab. Tap in this plus over here and go to inspiration section, and let's download this model. All these different projects are available to be downloaded to your app, and they will appear in your gallery like this one over here. And you can use it as a base start for your own project of your own design or illustration or anything you want. So I'll just merge all these layers here because in my case I won't need them separate, and split screen with the look that we will be recreating. Now this model is drawn in the puzzle look mode, so if you tap on that hanger icon, you'll get back to the puzzle look mode where you can start adding or changing different pieces of the template. But you have to remember to bring back on the opacity with those sliders up. And I will add a new garments on top of my template. To start building the look, it'll help me to draw these pieces, and I'm aware of the difference in the proportion or maybe some certain elements, but it's going to be much more helpful to me to use them as a guide rather than just drawing on from scratch. So I'm adding some shoes. They're just similar in shape. And tap back on this pencil to get back on the canvas in the drawing mode. And now I'm going to reduce the template's opacity again because I don't want it to be very strong contours. Using one more layer on top of this model drawing. And basically I'll start drawing the garments with the pencil. And I'll choose a color which is similar to this shadow over here, so something darker. I'm going to be using this toggle of darkness a lot because it's much faster to simply find lighter and darker values of the same color and outline the template, but looking at the split screen to cross-reference what changes I need to make. Now it may not be very easy to see this outline, so I'm going to add one layer over here, right under the outline, and fill it in with this flat color that you can see, the cream color. I took a solid tool, it's not a transparent tool, and I will choose this color to just fill in the entire space under within the outline. Now on top of this layer I will add one more and start drawing shadows. Pay attention to this color on the reference. So you may use this color just dragging the toggle to the left and getting somewhat grayish color which fits good, or you may use another color. And I took marker to make it semi-transparent. So this color will give me a warmer result, less grayish. I can use this. And choosing the small size of the flat marker, I will carefully go over the areas where I can see the shadow, which will give me an illusion of volume and three-dimensionality for this piece. And now I want to introduce the blue part. So add one more layer right here on top of the beige flat color. And I'll take a watercolor brush in the largest size. Take a palette of the eye colors because it has some nice blues there. And just the ones you think work the best. Adding this layer of color. The most perfect way to do this, very gradual, is to use a very light hand, a very light pressure on the Apple Pencil, and just saturate it towards the middle and slowly let it go and release the pressure towards the sides. I've also used a slightly different size and hue towards the center, maybe a little bit more turquoise, and just stretch these colors onto the sides. Now when that is done, I can take an eraser and get rid of everything that is outside of the outline. I took a small size for more of a precise erasing process, and I'll fast forward to the result. I've decided to change the sequence of colors, pulling the blue on top of the beige layers and adding one more layer to start drawing shadow for the blue part. Now pay attention to this color. It's going to be something that I need to look for in the eyes palette, which is going to be my base shadow color, the darkest of the ones that I will use. And of course I'm going to use the toggle, finding lighter colors to blend it all and make the edges soft. As I am approaching the middle between the beige and the blue, I will switch my color of the shadow to gray and try to work transparently. That would allow me to marry and blend these two layers between them. And I will also switch to the beige shadow and kind of layer all of that on top of each other, creating a gradient not only on the light but in the shadow as well. I'm switching just back and forth between gray and beige and see the result that I get. So next step is going to be adding details, and I will use a dark color for refining the edges. Basically, it's a work on top of the outline layer, but just finding it in a more precise way. I will also find the stitching, buttons, add pockets, and I will fix the parts of the outline where I need to change their color, because I've worked in this brown color, but then I have the parts where my washes are blue. So I'll make sure it looks good and doesn't contradict the coloring. So about the stitching, I will take a pen, and these two lines of stitching I will do with a pen of a slightly darker color, and for sure I'm going to select this mode of line, which is going to be a dashed line, and just run it across these edges. I will take a darker blue color and a pencil to fix the outline. So of course I've created a layer on top of my outline, otherwise it won't be covering it. So I need to make sure that I'm using a layer which is on top of my sequence, covering every other previous layer. I can start working on the pockets now. So first thing I'm going to find is the edges, which is going to be a bottom edge of the pocket, and sketch it with a pencil on top of the shirt. I'm just using a separate layer just in case I make a mistake. I'm not gonna have to mess up with my previous work. And see how much from the top I need to lower this line in order to get the right size and proportion of the pocket and get this seam, and see the relationship between the sides. How wide is it? Is it square? And I'm exaggerating the shadow on the bottom of the pocket just to show that it has a certain thickness of material that's pasted on top as a patch. And the flap on top will have a similar shadow. Now I'll add all the stitching that goes around these panels with a pen and using the dashed line mode. And there's one seam that goes over here, which I didn't draw. So I'll add that using a pen, stitching, and a pencil line. The last thing that's left to be done are shoes. I will add one more layer in the bottom, but on top of the model drawing because I need to cover the original drawing. And I brought back the template in a semi-transparent opacity. And just picking the color which I want to outline the shoes. With pencil, I'm using the template as my guide and trying to get a similar shape as the reference. And this is the cool thing that I have about this model, is that I don't really need to draw from scratch, but kind of like changing the existing shoe. I will have to work on the skin though, because there's a strap of the shoe on this model which is going to be visible, but that's fine. So I'm adding the outline and I will start coloring it with a flat color just like I did with the suit. So here's my initial shape. I will jump right on the model drawing, the one I downloaded from Inspiration tab, and remove a little parts that show over here and take a marker with a skin color which I think was used to color that model, or approximately the same, and just draw over this strap, following the same idea of how it was originally drawn, kind of covering that previous strap drawing. And I will add a layer to add shadow and light on the new shoe that I have here with the marker. So I'll take a darker color of the ones I used as a base and a lighter using the toggle. So this is the end of the video. I really hope that it was fun to watch for you. Please give it a like and subscribe to this channel. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments section and we will give you responses. Also, you can check our Instagram page where we have a lot of quick tutorials of different looks and just a lot of information and cool tips and tricks on Prêt-à-Template app. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.